Hello, livestock friends, and welcome to this edition of Before the Bid. This is a podcast dedicated to the livestock sales industry where we go behind the scenes of the operation and speak straight to the sellers. We discuss topics about the important aspects of their operation, location, the people behind the prep work, and talk about some of the animals that will be offered to you, the prospective buyers. Hopefully, you've got your sale catalog close by. You might have to go look through that pile on your desk. But if not, then you're probably like me and driving down the road or busy with chores around the farm. And that's okay too. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoy this segment of Before the Bid. I'm your host, Andy Howell. Welcome, livestock friends, to this edition of Before the Bid podcast. And on this one, we stay right here in my home state in Indiana. We go north of us quite a bit, but up there about where I grew up, not very far, about 40 minutes from where I grew up and was raised. And we're going to talk some Shorthorn and Shorthorn Plus cattle. And we're going to visit with a third-generation Shorthorn breeder. And also, this is their second sale. They had one last year. We personally went up, stopped in, looked at the cattle, and actually bid on some of them, and kind of upset I didn't get one of them. So we're going to have to make our way back up there, and we're going to go to Mooreland, Indiana. We're going to talk with Wayne Jester on this one, and he's going to fill us in on some history and things, and got a really neat cow story that I want to bring out for you. And then we're going to go through these awesome lots. I got to tell you, Brandy and I brought these up. They are on their Facebook page. We brought them up, and we just oohed and awed over all of these cattle. So I am really, really excited about these cattle and letting Wayne tell you about them. Just what a nice set that Wayne and Joyce have put together. And Wayne, got a little rain tonight, but not quite as much as you really wanted, but things are all right up there in Mooreland, right?
We would have liked to have had more, but we've been getting enough rain to keep the grass going along.
Right. And also, you guys have a row crop operation that I want you to kind of bring out in this one. And Wayne, I guess start just a bit, if you would, and tell us some history. How'd you guys get started? You're a third-generation breeder. How did this whole thing start for you guys?
My grandpa gave me and my brother a shorthorn heifer and a shorthorn steer, and it was all kind of downhill from there. He raised shorthorn cattle and wanted to continue that along, and then my dad and mom supported the program, and now I'm trying to pass it along to the fourth generation.
Right. Now, did they always have shorthorns, you said, or did they have some other breeds and things?
There was a time that we bred with commercial bulls, but we've taken the herd back to about half pure blood and half commercial right now, that we use the half commercial for recip cows for our embryo program.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're running Shorthorn, Shorthorn Plus, anything else kind of mixed in there?
We've purchased a few Angus in the last couple years.
Okay.
So we've got 4 Angus cows.
Okay. Now, I got to harass you a little bit. How soon till we see some of these Angus on this sale?
We've got a really good Angus heifer out in Kansas that's doing really well, and her full sib went out there again.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see how our Angus program goes, but we're pretty happy about it.
Right. Well, that's great, and doing the double breed thing, and that's good. And if you can breed Angus as well as you can Shorthorn, why the Angus world's got some more competition to it.
Thank you.
Well, Wayne, tell us about your operation now and what you guys are doing. You have some crops and things going on, and tell us about that a little bit, and then we'll get into the family and introducing those.
We have 85 cows.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, about half and half.
Mm-hmm.
We have a pureblood Angus bull, 2 pureblood shorthorns, and then a plus bull that we run with the various herds. Small herds in the different pastures, less than 30 on each pasture. Then we row crop around 700 acres, just enough to try to keep the cow herd going. Work with my parents. And then naturally my kids are now getting old enough to take an interest in the row crop and the cattle operation, and they are working with us also.
Now you guys are feeding some things out too as well.
Yes, all of our calves that don't make the sale get fed out, and we have a small freezer beef operation, and then the rest go to market.
Okay. And the freezer beef thing growing here in the last couple of years.
Seems to be really taking off a lot more than what the packing plant can handle.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yes.
That's a good
So,
thing.
yes, in the last 2 years, our freezer program's doubled.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great. You talked about the family just a little. If you would, why don't you introduce them and tell us a little bit about all of those?
My wife, Joyce, we've been married for 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
Our oldest son, Rylan, just got his driver's license in June.
Oh, wow.
16 years old.
Uh-huh.
He has been working the past few years for Kate's Farms.
Mm-hmm.
And this year he went to work for Smith in Pendleton.
Mm-hmm.
So he's working for Mitchell Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Just really enjoys what he does, and he's, just picking up things from Tyler Cates and Kyle Shuffler and Mitchell Smith just every day. Every day is a growth potential with that group.
Right. What a bonus that is. As you're saying that, what a bonus that is to bring back to your operation,
Yes.
to hang with guys like those guys.
And to be right centrally located in the middle of such a good group of farms, not only those two, but numerous others.
Right.
It's incredible what central Indiana has going on right now.
Right. That is a hotbed right there where you guys are.
Yes. And it's not just the shorthorn breed, it's all of the show cattle. Mm-hmm. Here, and the successes that the farms have had is just amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like you talked about. You've got 30 in a pasture. That's not the greatest cattle ground. It's really, really good row crop ground.
Right. You're getting far and few between on some of the pastures around.
Right.
But yes, you're correct, and these pastures are getting more expensive.
Right.
By the day, it seems like.
Right.
With the price of the commodities out here.
Right.
But my middle daughter, then Haley, is doing extremely well here. She is 14 and really taken a huge interest over the last couple of years in showmanship. Mm-hmm. And presenting these cattle in the show ring, and actually has gotten to the point where she just placed in the IJBCA the other evening at third in her age division.
Oh, wow, that's great.
She's really excited, doing very well at Junior Nationals, has placed in her age group the last 2 years in the top 5.
Oh, that's great.
So taking a huge interest in showmanship on the calves, and Rylan has even elected a couple times to have her show his heifer.
Oh, wow.
So as bad as they hate to admit it, they like to work together. So
well, that's good.
And then youngest daughter, Lindsay, is naturally coming along very well. Her heifer was purchased from Cornerstone Farms this year and done a great job with her. When we got the heifer, she needed a little bit of work, and Lindsay done a very good job working with her and then getting her presented in the show ring. Caught a very bad age group for this year for Shorthorns in Indiana, but did a great job, kept her head up the entire year, and done a wonderful job presenting her heifer.
Good.
Going to be a great heifer as a donor cow for future born and raised heifers. All three of them do a great job with getting them fit and presented, and then doing the work at home to make it worth it.
Right. Right, and I've seen them on the road, and they do work together quite well, and you guys flat get them presented and ready to go. So, do you want to introduce Mom and Dad as well, since they're still on the row crop?
Yes, we still work with everything on the halves with Phil and Marlene, my mom and dad. They've been a key point in getting everything started and keeping everything going. Dad, or Papal, as the kids would introduce him as, just wants to feed cows every day. And that's a good thing and a bad thing.
Right.
We have everything taken very well care of. Some of the cows are taken probably a little too good of care of.
I have a hard time with them going a little bit hungry, don't they?
Yes. Doesn't like to have anything ball at any point in time. Really wants to keep everything to where it's not hungry.
Right. Right.
but really enjoys watching the kids, going to the fairs, watching them show. They both still go to all the fairs and
Mm-hmm.
sit and watch, and then go home and take care of the work at home while we're away.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, very key part in getting us to the point we're at and helping us stay here.
Right. Right. And it also helps you work off the farm as well.
Correct.
And so some daily things can be taken care of there as well. So
Yes.
really,
Yes.
really good situation.
Yes. Very ideal for where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, that's great. And also probably great right around breeding time as he can go watch some heats and things. And you guys do an extensive AI program.
Yeah. We'll always come in. We have a board that everything's up on, and what cows we're expecting to come in heat, and does the morning checks, and will keep me well informed of what's going on here while I'm at work, or while Joyce is away too.
Right.
So helps keep everything going and keep the operation moving while we're away or at work or at school.
Right. And speaking of the AI and the breeding and things, what are some of your breeding philosophies, some of your breeding goals? What do you look for to breed these cattle to, and how do you guys go about that?
One of the key points in the Shorthorn breed, as well as everybody knows, is we've been working at calf size for quite a few years.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been really concentrating on getting the calf size, keeping the calf size
Mm-hmm.
moderate to low,
Mm-hmm.
and then having the weaning weight, the yearling weight in return.
Mm-hmm.
So keeping the growth side of it on the backside.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, not trying to give up the show ring appeal and the performance.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been rather difficult on the Shorthorns,
Mm-hmm.
but we've tried to work our way through it. The biggest thing that probably that we get faulted for is when we do end up in the show ring here, we get faulted for looking too much like a cow, or
Mm-hmm.
this is the cow prospect of the class.
Right.
And the kids have been frustrated over that over the past.
Mm-hmm.
And as they get older, they learn that you need that cow prospect to have the show calf.
Right.
So we've been building the herd with cow prospects,
Mm-hmm.
and then reaping the benefit of having the show prospect out of the cow.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of a two-sided coin there,
Right.
so to speak, as you need one to create the other one.
Right.
You need a good cow with maternal instincts and
Right.
characteristics to create the show calf.
Right. The plan to keep going that way, you think, and keep breeding females and kind of shooting off, kind of depending on where this thing actually keeps going, that kind of the goal, keep breeding those cows then and just make show prospects out of them.
Yeah, very much so. And still breed for good cows along the way.
Right.
You still have to have one to create the other one.
Right.
The show calves, they go, just as you know, in spurts,
Mm-hmm.
one direction or another.
Right. Right.
Seems like what the judges are picking.
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of take it all with a grain of salt and stay somewhere in the middle of the road
Mm-hmm.
and keep your program moving forward.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to pick that middle of the road
Mm-hmm.
avenue and just stay with good functional cattle, square from the ground up,
Right.
and keep them good, structurally sound, and then work out from there.
Right. And you can do that as long as you got that base. So
Yes.
I enjoy that philosophy that you guys have. So, and speaking of that, you guys have done a very good job of doing that and producing some of these show calves out of these good production females. And so, if you would, Wayne, tell us a little bit. You've had some successes here over the past couple years.
Quite a bit. We're real happy with where we've been at. We're extremely happy with some of these cows that have our prefix on both sides of them.
Mm-hmm.
Been doing very well at Kentucky Beef Expo, Ohio Beef Expo. We've had a lot of success with the local shows with the kids, Beef Congress, State Fair. We've had good success. It's been rather rewarding here seeing it come full circle.
Mm-hmm. If you would, why don't you be a little specific on some of those successes here in the last couple of years?
Well, this past year has been one of our better ones.
Mm-hmm.
We were champion shorthorn heifer at the open show at the Indiana State Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And premier breeder at the open show. We had 3 division champions and did very well at the 21 state fair. Did really good at the 4-H show at the state fair. 2 division champions there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just an excellent year in 2021 put together. Really enjoyed jackpot showing.
Mm-hmm.
We had 4 top 5 finishes and 3 top 3 finishes.
Oh, wow.
In the IJBCA jackpot showing.
Mm-hmm.
And then really good at expos.
Mm-hmm.
We attend the Kentucky Beef Expo and the Ohio Beef Expo.
Mm-hmm.
This past year we had the champion shorthorn sale heifer at Kentucky and the high seller.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a full sieve to her selling in this year's sale as lot 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the Ohio Beef Expo, we had champion shorthorn heifer and the champion shorthorn plus heifer, which we have a full sieve to her selling as lot 2 in this year's sale.
Uh-huh.
So we're really excited with where our program has been the last couple of years, and that we have matings to offer in this year's sale that we are very confident in where they're going to go.
Right. And you can see some of these guys if you go looking on their Facebook page, Jester Farm's Facebook page. They've got a lot of pictures of these up there and pictures of cattle they've sold. Wayne, why don't you tell about some of those cattle that came out of that sale last year? And again, I was up there and saw those cattle and really wanted one of these heifers, and things just didn't quite work out, and I probably should have went ahead and bought her.
Well, I appreciate that. We had quite a few. We had a couple of really good heifers last year that went on to do quite a bit of success in the show ring. We had a heifer reserve division at the Indiana Beef Congress this past year, and then she went on to win 3rd overall in Washington County at their county fair. And family is extremely happy with where she was at. And they've already been here 3 times looking through the heifers this year.
Right.
We had a plus heifer that went through last year's sale that was division champion at Dixie. And done very well for Hill family last year. Then we had a heifer was 3rd overall at Adams County Fair. Plus heifer that did very well for the Lefevre family. So quite a bit of success through last year's sale, being at our first production sale.
Right.
And we were happy with where we ended up.
Right. Sounds like you should be. A lot of those cattle coming out of there, and again, I was there to see them, and they were the real deal. So I want to wish you congratulations on a great year last year with those. And this set coming up that we're going to talk about, they've got the potential to smoke last year, I think.
We're real happy with where we're at. Thank you very much.
Well, Wayne, before we get into those, you have a neat story about a cow that's going to come into play here because she's got some progeny in this sale. And if you would, I just thought this was a neat story about a cow that, you know, sometimes things happen for a reason, and sometimes you don't think they're going to happen, and sometimes they almost happen by accident. And I just thought this was really a neat story.
Scott Trinipole was going to a shorthorn sale, and I told him that I would be interested in buying some eggs, and he bought a package of eggs that Brian Cates had bought the heifer on. And he called me after he bought them, and he said, "Hey, if you don't want them, I'll take them." But I bought this package of eggs, and I bought it because Brian Cates bought the heifer.
Right.
And it ended up being, I went ahead and bought the package of eggs, and 2 of the 4 of them stuck. We kept one heifer. We sold one at Louisville when they still had the heifer sale at Louisville, shorthorn heifer sale. And she ended up 2014, she won the Hoosier Beef Congress, Lady Cornerstone heifer that we raised from that egg. And so far, one of the most successful heifers we've had here. We have 3 heifers in the sale that are out of her. and done very well for us. Rylan showed her in 2014, and it was his most favorite cow and probably the entire family's most favorite cow on the farm.
Right.
We ended up losing her last year to kind of a freak accident, but we do have quite a bit of her embryos in the tank still, and we're real happy with her as we have mated her to numerous bulls along the way. We do have 3 heifers offered out of her in the sale. So, yeah, it's kind of a weird deal of getting to, probably one of your best heifers so far, and kind of cool along the way.
Right. Yeah, and Scott calls up and says, "Hey, I got these." And
yeah,
we had Scott on the podcast. It's been
did
the
you?
first year, a couple years ago. He was one of the first 3 or 4 or 5 guests on the podcast. So what a good program they have.
And that was how he opened up the conversation is, hey, I bought these, and I'll keep them if you don't want them, but here you go.
Did you guys have a couple laughs? Did he ever kick himself for that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very much so. And he told me he should have kept them and not called. So, yeah, there you go.
His misfortune is turned into your fortune.
Exactly. He had the chance.
Well, that's good, but that was quite a bit of insight too to look at that and say, oh yeah, well, I guess if Kate's has bought the full sister or the full sib to him, why, they got to be worth something. So
yeah,
that's a neat story about how that came about, and not a bad move on either of your parts.
No, not on all the 3 of our parts. So we're pretty happy with it.
That's great. That's awesome. Again, you guys are going to have a sale, and you're going to have your second sale. Have you learned a lot from last year?
Yeah, and what they've always said is that, it gets easier after you try to do something. But
right.
Mitchell Smith he came up and looked through the calves last year, and he said, you need to have a sale. And I said, I can't have a sale. I don't know anything about it. And he said, I got this. This is, we'll work our way through it. And there was bumps in the road, things that we didn't understand, things that we didn't know till you go through it.
Right.
And had a great sale, great experience. Mitchell did a great job. Willoughby did a great job with helping us get through it. Everybody says the first one's your hardest one.
Right.
Second one will get easier. We are extremely happy with the traffic that we've had so far this year. Quite a bit more traffic than we experienced all of last year. Different people, different states. Just extremely blessed with where we're at this point in time. Just like we said, great people to help you and work with you throughout the process. We have our sale closes on the 20th, September the 20th. We have an open house here at the farm on September the 18th. We're going to have food that evening. The barn will be open all day. Of course, our barn is open from now until the 20th. So if anybody's interested in making arrangements, shoot us a call, shoot us a text, or just stop by.
Right.
We'd be more than happy to show the cattle off.
Right.
We really enjoy it.
Yeah, personal experience last year. That's what we did. Allie, I think my daughter I think it was Haley, text her and says, hey, can we come by and see those cattle? We were in the area, and we sure did, and you guys are very accommodating and appreciated that very much.
That's what we get the most of is people just pulling in the driveway.
Right. Well, that's great.
We love it.
Yeah. Well, when does this sale open up on Willoughby Sales? When can they start bidding on these cattle?
The 20th on that morning.
Okay, so it's on that morning.
The morning of the 20th.
Okay, and then it ends that night of the 20th.
Yes,
okay.
Correct.
Great, good deal. Yeah, and again, that's on Willoughby Sales, and so a good platform there, and opens that up, and you guys can get on there and bid. And Wayne, you ready to start going through some of these cattle?
Sure.
Okay. The lot one, and I'll pull up the pedigree stuff here, but the lot one, as I said, we were messing around here on Facebook and looking at them, and man, she just hits you right out of the gate.
Lot one is an amazing heifer. She's been one of my favorites from the day she hit the ground. Mona Lisa, hot commodity. The cow is a Mona Lisa Sunny Deuce, full sib to one of them that Tyler flushes. And Tyler's been after me for a couple years to get this cow flushed. And, of course, I'm a little slow, but I finally got around to it, and I'm extremely happy that I did what I did.
Mm-hmm.
She has already been hanging banners. She won the 2021 Cattle Bonanza, the Shorthorn Pureblood heifer.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very square, very big body, deep ribbed heifer. Got an extremely attractive side profile. I mean, she
Mm-hmm.
just hits you from the side, and with her color markings and her lines, her top line, her deep rib shape, she's hard to get past.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice heifer. Everybody that's been through here has been on lot one. Really,
Mm-hmm.
really takes the good picture and really grabs you and points you in the right direction for the sale.
Right. And we can see these if maybe they're not watching the podcast video, maybe they want to go back and watch something else, or they're listening and maybe they want to jump on there. They are on YouTube as well. They can go to your Facebook page,
Yes.
Jester Farms. There's a post there with a nice looking white female, and then they've got that link right there if you want to follow along. Again, if you're not watching the podcast video, you can do that as well. So a great way to start, and number two sure doesn't back up much.
Lot two is a full sib to the heifer that won the Ohio Beef Expo sale, plus heifer.
Mm-hmm.
We are really happy with this heifer. She has our prefix on both sides. A tamale cow that won the state show
Mm-hmm.
a couple years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
a bull that we raised from an egg that we bought off Cates's, a Mona Lisa solution egg that has been doing some wonderful things the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
We're really happy with where he's at, but beautiful blue roan female, the youngest heifer in the sale.
Right.
And giving a little bit of time, knowing what this mating does, she will not disappoint anybody this time next year when we come out of winter. She's going to be one that's going to be hard to get around in that April division.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't hurt her because she's young, because she's a middle of April female. So yeah, a little more green, but boy, I'm like you. I think she's got a whole lot of future in my personal opinion, I guess.
Yes, and we've been day weaning her here last few weeks, and she's really been popping here lately. I think
Mm-hmm.
by sale date, by open house date, people are really going to be happy with where she's at.
Mm-hmm. We go on to tag three. We got another really nice roan marked heifer, February purebred.
Yeah, lot three is a pureblood. Lehman's bought a full sib to her through the Kentucky Beef Expo sale last year, and we're real happy with their purchase there. She was a fall born. We bought off of Cates's again. She is a Augusta Pride Red Rock, and the calf is back to hot commodity. Extremely good mating, very sound, square from the ground up, deep bodied, good rib shape female. And it just has a great disposition. We've showed her a couple times. The kids just love her, and she's just very, very sound, very square. Might be a little green right now, but she will get there.
Mm-hmm.
She's very nice structured female.
Mm-hmm. She is sure really neat, loud roan, redneck. She is a cool looking deal.
Yes.
What about tag 4?
Tag 4 might be the sleeper of the sale. Tag 4 is a solid red female, comes out of a show heifer of Lindsay's last year,
Mm-hmm.
back to Ultimate Reward. And I've used Ultimate Reward quite a bit. This is probably one of the better heifers I've gotten out of Ultimate Reward. I've been blessed with quite a few bull calves.
Mm-hmm.
But real happy with this heifer. She's very correct, very good lines, very well balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the better balanced heifers in the sale. And she's real deep red.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm almost thinking that the deep red color is throwing everybody off. We've got so much flash and so much color at the top of the sale that we get that deep red heifer, and it's just really hard to poke a hole in her.
Mm-hmm.
She's just very correct, very well balanced, very even from top
Mm-hmm.
to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
We've kind of watched the videos. It's kind of neat, the technology we have nowadays. And we've kind of watched the videos, and the videos tell me exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the least viewed heifer of the offering,
Uh-huh.
and she might be the most correct of all of them.
Right.
Most correct, balanced heifer. So it's kind of cool sitting and watching stuff like this as we go.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's getting a lot of hits for me right now.
She's really neat, and you almost have to take another minute to sit and look at her.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do, you start really appreciating where she's at.
Mm-hmm. And she appears to me to be one that you can really take on and really make a cow out of.
Yes, very very clean fronted, and one that you could really get aggressive with on the breeding side is what I like about her.
Mm-hmm.
She has calving knees on both sides. You could go a lot of different ways with her. You could go with a plus program. You could go with a pure blood program.
Mm-hmm.
She's one that you wouldn't have to hold back on, even as a heifer.
Right. Just keep her right on rolling through.
Yes.
We go back to another April female here, the lot 5, tag 5, and she's all white.
She is rather interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very stout, very big boned, especially for an April. Working on getting her some more belly.
Mm-hmm.
She's been responding rather well after we got her weaned here. We had 4 of these matings. We had a
Mm-hmm.
black one, a red one, and 2 white ones.
Wow.
And she is by far the most impressive of the mating. I've never used Soul Blue like this,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm real happy I still have some in the tank. And I'm going to use him again on some heifers now that I see what the mating looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Rather impressive female.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to belly down, and that will come a little bit with age.
Right.
But I think she has enough stoutness and power to really, excel in that April
Mm-hmm.
division.
Mm-hmm.
It's rather interesting to sit here and watch her, especially with her other 2 full sibs.
Mm-hmm.
She has by far surpassed them in power
Mm-hmm.
along the way.
Right.
I think that she's got enough power and stoutness to get over being solid white.
Right.
I don't use her being solid white against her anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's well worth it, and the people that have been through so far agree.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of agreement there on she's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. She sure hits you. Sure
She
hits you hard.
does.
And yeah.
What we kind of like about her is she comes into the barn, she comes into wherever she's at with that head up.
Mm-hmm.
I can see her coming into the show ring, head up and commanding the attention of that show ring.
Right.
She just has that wow factor to her.
Right.
And I don't know how to explain that real well, but she seems to be one of those heifers that really comes in and just grabs you.
Check her video out. She does. She hits you and grabs you and has that, some of them call it that winning attitude.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's that winning attitude. So your lot 6, we got a March purebred, and boy, she's they just keep coming.
She is a full sib to lot 1, tick greener, but like you said, a younger version of lot 1.
Mm-hmm.
She's really been coming here lately. She's got a lot of friends around here, a lot of people through. She's getting a lot higher on the list. She has
Mm-hmm.
all the right pieces of lot 1. She doesn't have the rib cage or the depth yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I think she's getting it. And she might be just a little rounder muscled, especially in her lower hip,
Mm-hmm.
and a little bigger bone than lot 1.
Mm-hmm.
So just a tick stouter version of her, and given some time, I really believe she's going to be there. She could be one of the ones to watch in the sale. If somebody was looking for a greener version, they worked with a little bit longer,
Mm-hmm.
I would check her number off on the list
Mm-hmm.
to watch.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely agree.
I could see a lot of good things coming out of her.
Yeah, she is really super.
I could really see a donor cow in the future after she shows
Mm-hmm.
on her.
Absolutely agree. The tag 7, we got another purebred, January female.
Tag 7 has actually had the second most business or interest, as you would say, of the sale so far. A very cool looking light roan comes from the lady cow family that we discussed earlier, and Cornerstone's backdraft bull. Very deep bodied. This heifer's ready to go to show, Rick. The
Yes.
girls have showed her, they've jackpot showed her a couple times. She's been very successful jackpot showing her. She's by far the thickest, deepest ribbed female that we have. Very good haired. I mean, these last couple days have just been brutal in central Indiana. And when we showed her Saturday and Sunday to people that stopped here, all the visitors that stopped by, we ended up rinsing her 3 times a day just to keep her cool.
Oh, wow.
She's just great-haired female. I mean, she's ready right now. But I think that her future is yet to come. She's going to be one that somebody could take and work into a steer program or a heifer program, either way, and they would be extremely happy with where they're at. Had a lot of interest out of Texas with her, and I think she would be very, very big, very good for that, for the steer market in Texas, or even, like we said, as a heifer program after her show career. So, yeah, we're really happy with where 7's at. We really think she's going to do some big things here.
And she's got that look, that really nice look, and that roan just really makes her set off, and then she brings all the pieces to go along with it.
She really pops with that side profile's just amazing.
Right. We go back solid red here for the lot 8.
Very large frame female out of a cow that we bought off Derek Jungles out of North Dakota. Very good maternal instincts. We bred that cow back to legit Angus bull from Tyler Cates, and then bred that cow back to hot commodity. Ended up with this plus heifer. She's a 3/4 shorthorn heifer, solid red, very good, correct female, very good joints, moves very well, very free, and you could go a lot of different ways breeding this female. Is just a really good cow prospect, and will do very well as a show heifer.
Right.
Calving knees on both sides, and just more of a bold, stout type of a female of the sale.
Agree. Yeah, she's a good one. She's a good one. Now, Wayne, I got to harass you a little bit because, usually these guys will start out with their good ones being 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And got to know, why is this heifer down here in lot 9, this plus heifer?
So she's the blue roan, very deep bodied, rib shape. She's out of a lady capitalist. So a lady heifer that we bred back to that Capitalist 316 bull, and then had her out of our Angus herd sire. So he is a Witten son from Flat Rock Farms, and just an extremely nice female. Very good round muscle shape, very good rib shape, very correct. She is only 25%, so she is registerable, but she will not show it at the national shows as a Shorthorn Plus. But her bred back to Shorthorn, she would have a Shorthorn Plus calf.
Right.
A little bit different outcross, but I think would really work as a breeding piece in anybody's program out there. Very nice heifer, has a lot of good qualities, and when we were putting the sale together, we couldn't leave her out just because she was only 25%. We were just having a hard time leaving her out just because of the way she looked.
Right.
I think she would be a great cow for anybody's program out there.
She's going to have a lot of friends, I think. She's got 2 down here because we were flashing through those pictures, and Brandy says, yeah, we got to go see her.
Yeah, she's kind of cool looking in person.
Right.
We're real happy with where she's at.
She is a good one. She's a good one. The end of the heifers here, we got a February, the lot 10.
Lot 10 has really been an up-and-coming heifer. Larger frame version of Lot 7, full sib to Lot 7.
Mm-hmm.
Moves very well. Just coming on, and this past weekend had a lot of friends here. And rightfully so. She's been popping, starting to really develop. I think she will be there by sale time. Larger frame heifer, where Lot 7's a little more moderate.
Mm-hmm.
This heifer's a little larger for January. She's going to really be a good breeding piece for somebody down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Real happy with where she's at, where she's coming over the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it really showed this past weekend. Sunday, we had quite a few people that had her on the top of the list
Mm-hmm.
of what they thought.
Mm-hmm.
She's a larger footed, bigger legged, just a bigger, broader female than 7,
Mm-hmm.
but still ties everything together and still moves very well.
Sure does.
So we were kind of happy with what she's been doing.
Right. Yes. 10 high quality females here in the sale, and so we finished there with a steer.
Yeah, this guy's kind of, we start off our description as this guy's kind of different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good way to put him for us. We're not a big steer producing program.
Mm-hmm.
All of my steers seem to look like my heifers.
Mm-hmm.
But every year I kind of put a little bit of different semen in, some different cows, just to kind of see where a guy would end up.
Right.
So we had some Sunseeker, the old Key Sunseeker semen in the tank, and we put it into a Cumberland cow, a Cumberland Eldorado cow.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up with I guess the best way to describe him would be a tank.
Mm-hmm.
He's a real powerhouse. He's extremely heavy boned, big footed,
Mm-hmm.
very heavy muscled steer, very large square back 1/2
Mm-hmm.
type of a calf.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wanted the kids to show him.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't get anybody talked into it. Haley showed him a couple times jackpotting,
Mm-hmm.
and he's done very well, very successful as the feeder calf option of the jackpot shows so far. We've had a couple of early shows.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the steer thing, Haley really likes to show heifers, and
Right.
Ryland's kind of on and off on the steers,
Mm-hmm.
and he's already got himself a steer this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're offering him up in the sale.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of see where it goes. We've had a couple offers so far, so we'll just see what he is. We'll put him out there and see where we end up.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But kind of happy with him. Everybody's kind of grown accustomed to him, so
Right.
hopefully Haley won't decide she wants to show him by the time sale time rolls around.
Right.
But
Right.
we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Right. And another thing, those females, you get to keep them around.
Yeah.
So that's a whole lot different deal.
Yeah, that's the hard part about the steers, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to the feedlot and leaving the feedlot. Leaving the feedlot's the hard part.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I agree.
He's a good one, and what a good addition here to the females. He just keeps that quality right there and keeps it right on going in the steer division. So
a little bit different, and he's had a little bit of interest.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of surprised by that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're real happy with him being there in the plus steer, and he would also be dual registered as a key.
Okay. Okay.
Out
Good.
of Sunseeker. So we also learned that this past weekend by a visitor.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I hadn't put that together yet.
Right.
Being a shorthorn breeder, it takes me a little bit.
Right. Well, that's good. Yeah, double register him wherever you want him, whichever you want him to do, and go for it. And he'd fit well in either division, in my opinion.
Yes, very much so. Great haired steer.
That's great. Wayne, again, just want to congratulate you on a great set here of females in this steer, and and I can understand why the traffic is coming through if they've seen your Facebook page, Jester Farms. Why I would think they've got to come look at them, or sure talk to you a little bit more, or look at the videos quite a few times here and see what they want to see. And guys, my experience with Wayne, you call him and you talk to him, and he's going to tell you what he sees and be as honest as he can with you, because he buys enough of his own that's what he'd want somebody else to do. Would I be correct in that, Wayne?
Yes, very much so. That's what we'd like to be known for up here.
Right, and one of the things I've learned about you, and so I appreciate that. And what a great set you've got here. Again, guys, that's on Willoughby Sales. That's going to be on September 20th. And so you picked a good day to have that. There's a guy that's got a birthday on that day. So
yes,
what a good day to sell cows. So you guys have a birthday up there on the 20th?
Yes.
Okay.
My wife's birthday is on that day, so this is all a big birthday party for her in disguise.
Well, that's great. That's great. That's mine as well, is what I was getting at. I didn't realize that was hers as well. So that's awesome. That's good. One of the things I like about doing these podcasts is you get to learn so much about other people, and it's very interesting to do that. So, Wayne, anything else about this sale, about these cattle, anything else you want to tell us before we wrap this up?
We would love to show all of the cattle off. We really appreciate that. Any questions that anybody would have, we would entertain them. And just like you said, answer them to the best of our ability. And everybody is invited to the open house on the 18th and the sale on the 20th. Right. Love to have everybody and welcome any questions that anybody would have. Thank you very much.
That is in Mooreland, Indiana.
Yes, sir.
And that's not too far from Newcastle area.
Right in between Newcastle and Muncie.
There you go.
A half-mile north of 36, very close to Schaefer's, Cates's, Smith's, Myers, right in between everybody's rounds of central Indiana.
Right. Yeah. People could go to central Indiana and just almost spend a week looking through all of those cattle. And if they haven't done that yet and they're planning on it, I hope they put the Jester Farms on their list, because it's going to be worth a stop.
Yes, very good group of cattle in central Indiana. We're really blessed to be right between a lot of good breeders that have a lot of good various breeds of cattle.
Right, and you guys are running right along with them and doing a very, very nice job with all the success that you guys have had. So, Wayne, again, appreciate you putting this together, and appreciate you coming on here talking about everything and talking about these cattle. And look on Willoughby Sales. Look on September 20th, because Jester Farms are going to be there. Make it to Mooreland, Indiana on the 18th for their open house. See the cattle, eat some good food. Joyce, I know she can put a nice spread together. She sure did us when we came in there on about 20 minutes notice or something. So I appreciate that. So,
well, we appreciate having everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wayne. And again, Willoughby Sales, September 20th, Mooreland, Indiana, Jester Farms. We want to thank you for following along with us here as Wayne talks about these cattle, and we want to thank you for listening to another edition of Before the Bid podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Before the Bid. For more information and to learn more about upcoming podcasts and sales, visit us at beforethebid.podbean.com or Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram pages. For information on being a guest on Before the Bid, please email us at beforethebid@gmail.com or one of our social media pages. Remember, that's beforethebid@gmail.com. Happy sales to you, and we will talk to you next time on Before the Bid.